biopsy is necessary to analyze the tissue within the bone marrow to check for any abnormalities. These can range from different types of blood disorders to even forms of leukemia, which can be life-threatening to the patient.
Most bone marrow biopsies are quite long and painful since the sensation within the bones itself can't be numbed out. Even if sedatives are used, the patients will still feel pain after the operation is completed. There's also much more room for error the longer the operation goes, and sometimes the actual sample sizes themselves aren't large enough, which forces a second biopsy to be done.
The device is made to make the operation faster and to get a larger and more precise sample of tissue, to reduce any complications for the patient and to reduce any pain.
The precision knob-controlled bone marrow drill is our take on what's needed to complete a bone marrow biopsy. It works in a similar way as the current line of Jamshidi bone marrow biopsy needles. The sample sizes are also larger and more precise, and this is done using a knob system installed within the drill and a slightly larger size needle gouge that's about 2.5 millimeters in diameter. Increasing the size of tissue samples can prevent the chance of a second biopsy, and that would be very painful and much more expensive. For cutting through the bone and making way for the needle, a triple-phase trocar-tipped rod is used. This rod gets through the bone to the marrow. It goes through the inside of the needle itself to the other end and stays input through the use of a threaded cap. The needle bit itself is where this design differs. Most commonly, doctors insert the needle using manual force as soon as they get past the bone itself and enter the bone marrow. They may still go very deep into the marrow. The maximum size for sample is 4 centimeters in depth. If the needle is pushed in very deep, they'll have to carefully adjust it using manual, uncontrollable force. For an inexperienced doctor, this task may be difficult. So this design uses a gear system controlled through a knob to precisely insert the needle after manual adjustment. Even for an experienced doctor, this task is tough since they're working with millimeters of precision, and so the knob makes things much easier. Doctors would have to remeasure the sample size with each movement of the needle into the bone marrow. Turning this knob 1 for rotation moves the needle forward 2 millimeters. This eliminates the need to constantly remeasure and ensure the needle hasn't penetrated the marrow too deeply, saving time. If doctors can just remember this, they can turn the knob as desired after taking a quick initial measurement from the point at which the needle first entered the bone marrow. The needle can move up to 1 centimeter forward, and this leaves quite a bit of aerospace in case the first entry is either too shallow or too deep. The knob itself works using a rack gear and another normal gear. The rack gear directly attaches to a needle bit, and as the knob rotates, it turns that rack gear forwards or backwards. This method doesn't use a requisition needle either, making the process much faster as the main needle can be turned to collect the bone marrow tissue and the entire mechanism can be taken out. This design also uses an ergonomic handle with rubber grips for support. This design allows for the doctors to get a tighter, more comfortable grip on the drill itself. The trocar-tipped rod and needle bit are made up of Type 420 surgical stainless steel, while the handle and working gears within the drill are made up of PEEK engineered plastic, and, of course, the rubber grips are made up of rubber. So, the PKC bone marrow biopsy drill will make the operation faster and collect larger samples with surgical precision, all while the doctor can comfortably hold it. This is all done to make the operation safer for the patient and easier on the doctor. Thank you for watching, and if you could, please complete the survey below.